Yo, and welcome to a troubleshooting video for the Portapack H2 Hack RF1. Now, this is in case if you accidentally semi-brick your device when you do your upload, okay? So I'm going to show you how to kind of get out of that with a DFU. The DFU mode it's not the hardest, it's not the most difficult, but it did take me a little bit. So, first and foremost, I'm going to show you how to brick your device so you don't do this. So we're going to go ahead and hit wipe SD card. Sure, why not? SD card's done. Okay, empty, right? Capiche. Now, we're going to go and hit flash utility. We're going to find a version on here. We're just going to hit this replacing your current firmware. Sure, you think that you still have that firmware on there, right? Because, hey, why not? But you forgot that you wiped your SD card. So let's go ahead and hit yes, right? And this will take about 15 seconds. Yada, 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 yada. We see that TX light blinking up top. And there we go. Restarts. Let's say that your device, now I was hoping that I can prove this to you, but for some reason it's not working for me this time. And it could be that previously I was using, and this is going to drive somebody crazy because I had a comment about this last time, but something to consider on the Portapack H2 is this SD card slot, this micro SD card slot, right? It's in there. You cannot put your finger in there depending on what pack chassis you get, right? You cannot put your finger in there to eject that card, okay? So what I like to do is take a big knife, because why not? And this is going to drive somebody crazy. I know it is, but you know what? It's my unit, so I don't care. And that card just came flying out. Now, last time that card did not come flying out, I had to use my knife to gently pop it out. So the card I used to use was a PNY, but I have had 3 PNY cards now fail on me. So I would highly recommend having a reputable card manufacturer like SanDisk, Samsung. Buy quality stuff, okay? All right. And use my knife here to push it in there. There we go. So let's say that your device has been bricked or semi-bricked because of a firmware update. You turn it on, nothing happens. You have a black screen. So what do you do next? Well, we're going to head over here to the GitHub page. So what we're going to do is we're going to just type into Google Portapack Mayhem, and that's all you really got to type, okay? And I will show you. Let's just go Portapack Mayhem, enter. We're going to go down to custom firmware for the HackRF/Portapack H1 and H2. Click on that guy. We're going to scroll all the way down to, I went too far, to documentation. Once you're in documentation, we're going to scroll over here to this area, troubleshooting. Let's go to device won't start up or boot. You have a white screen, okay? Now, the guys at GitHub did an incredible job as far as telling us exactly what to do if you have certain symptoms, if you want to call them, for your Portapack, right? We got the white screen. If your device won't boot and leaves with a black screen, like mine did when I semi-bricked it, then you will need to power up the device and then hold down the left button, okay, which is by the knob, and it can take it to 10 seconds. Okay, now they have a description. Up key, LCD driver. Down key, LCD driver 2. OK, select, center button, right? Key reset, automatic detection. Left key, over here, LCD driver 2 QFP100 chip. Right, LCD driver 1 QFP100 chip. Right. If none of those work, keep scrolling down. H2 not powering up, just black LCD. Now this is where we get into the weeds of it, right? Now, fingers crossed that you don't have to tear apart your entire device like I did. And I don't think I really did. I just think that I was doing it wrong. So leave your device intact for the first part, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to start into the DFU util service, okay? And to do that, we're going to go scroll down to that area that we're at, right? So we are in won't boot area. My device won't start up, okay? I'm going to scroll down to update firmware troubleshooting, right hither. Now, this is where you get into the DFU portions of it, okay? This is a special mode to update the firmware in case of problems. To enable this, you should reset your device holding the reset and DFU buttons at the same time. While doing this, release, reset, and then release DFU. This is DFU, okay? The one closest to the antenna port is DFU. The one furthest away is reset. And if you don't know for sure, or you don't trust me, you can head over here to the user manual portion of the page. You're going to head over to the user manual, description of hardware. Click on that guy right there, okay? So on the back of your unit, if you're holding it like such, you cannot see this because this guy over here on the screen printed out some kind of label, right? Antenna, your first light is TX, RX, USB, RF. You got your 1.5 volt, your DFU. The next light over is 3 volt, 3.3 volt, and then you have your reset. All right, so that's going to help us out here in a little while to how to kind of what to do next. Okay, so that is your DFU bolt. I'm on Mac. If you're on Linux, follow those procedures. If you're on Windows, follow those. I'm on Mac, so we're going to do it the Mac way. So if necessary, you need to install the DFU tools. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and hit Command Space. We're going to go into our terminal area. We're going to type in brew install DFU / util. If I can type util. And it's going to do its thing. All right, so we got our DFU unit installed. Okay, before we go any further though, we're going to need to go and find the firmware that we want. So let's head back to our first tab here. You could go with the latest Mayhem firmware v1.9.1, right? Now, we need the firmware zip. That's important. So tap on that guy. I want to put this for now, instead of my downloads folder, I want to put it on my desktop. Let's head back to the GitHub page, okay, where you're there. Upload the firmware with DFU util device, yada yada yada, download hackrf1 _ USB DFU -- reset, reboot device. All right, so if you don't know how to get into a specific folder, because you can't just copy and paste that code into your terminal because it won't go, right? So we're going to go to CD desktop. Now, if you look down here, we're at my desktop, okay? Now, from here, DFU util device, yada, 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 download hackrf1, okay? Now, to make it easier, I want to go into my folder here, head over to utils, okay? Once you're in utils, hackrf1 USB DFU, that is the file that you need, okay? So we're going to take that file. I'm going to just toss it on my desktop, okay? Now I can take this code, copy it. I'm going to paste it, right? I'm not going to run it yet. Let's go back to our hackrf1 unit, okay? You need a micro USB cable. This one is a USB-C to micro USB. I got it on Amazon. I will put the link in the description below if you're interested in that kind of stuff, because I love USB-C. I'm going to put that on my computer. It has to be a cable that can do data. Not all cables are made the same. Some are just power cables, some are data cables. It has to be a cable that does data. If you don't have a USB-C to micro USB, then the cable that came with your Portapack is a data cable. All right. As I just did, I bricked my device, semi-bricked it, I guess you can call, by deleting or wiping my SD card, then trying to install a firmware that was no longer there, right? So now I have a black screen. Nothing is happening. And nothing. Black screen. All right. After you tried all the troubleshooting things and those don't work, now we're going to go into our DFU mode. The DFU button right here, take your cable, plug it in. We are plugged in. We are now in DFU mode. Take that and I'm going to paste and I'm going to hit enter. And it ran through the whole script just fine. So let's see if my device functions now. Unplug it, power it off, power it on, and nothing. All right. If this is the case, here's what you gotta do next, and it's not fun. We're gonna pull off all of our buttons. All right, so we're gonna pull off all of our buttons, all of our plates, all that fun stuff, right? We're gonna go ahead and disconnect our BNC if you got one. These little green things, I got asked about these a few weeks ago. These are 3D printed SMA protectors that I did out of resin. So that's all they are. I found a file from Thingiverse. We're going to go ahead and take off, or we're going to back out these nuts right here, okay? Now we're going to take out the back portion, and we're going to be getting into the SDR side, which is the Hacker F1 side. For those of you that may not know, this build of the Portapack H2 and the Hacker F1 is a Franken build, is what I like to call it. The devices are actually two separate devices married into one to create one beautiful, awesome user interfaceable device that we get to play with, okay? But the bottom portion is technically the Great Scott Gadgets Hacker F1. Once you have your devices off, we're going to gently pop that cover off and then bring it down. These little plastic risers, put those off to the side. I'm going to put all my screws in one location, that way I don't lose anything. This piece, the top part, is actually the Portapack H2 or H1 if you have that unit. The bottom part, this piece right here, is the Great Scott Gadgets Hacker F1. So we're going to pull these two parts gently like such. Make sure that we didn't bend any pins. This is the Portapack H2 portion. Put that off to the side. We don't need that right now. This Hacker F1, as you can see right there. Depending on what version you have, mine could be a Chinese clone. I don't know for sure. I bought it off of AliExpress, but it does the job. So here we are. Now that we're in here, we can actually see what all these lights and buttons do. And hopefully you can see that. You've got your antenna, TX, RX, USB, RF, 1VB. You have your DFU and your reset. It helps you figure out what's what. So what we're going to do is we're into our DFU mode, right? We're going to hold on DFU. We're going to plug in our USB cable. That green light is what you want. Let go of DFU. We're going to go here to our terminal. We're going to CD into our desktop. That's pretty much saying I want to be in this folder, right? Once we're in our desktop, you see desktop, then your computer name, okay? We're going to go over to the website. We're going to copy this link under the update firmware troubleshooting area. We are going to go back to terminal, okay? We're going to copy and paste that guy, and we're going to hit enter. So you want this to say 100%. All your lights back up on your Hacker F1, okay? Those lights is what you want. That's good. Now to double check that, we're going to go back to our terminal. We're going to CD out of desktop, okay? We're going to take this command right here, System Profiler SP USB data type. Copy that. It's going to run. Now you can see that we have Hacker F1 right here. So that means that we are now back into our Hacker F1 firmware on this device. It's what you want, right? Now before we go any further, let's go ahead and get our USB or our micro SD card. We're going to go ahead and pop it into our micro SD card reader. Run disk util. You see that it pulled up over here and it says Hacker F, right? So once we get to populate over here on the disk util side, we're going to go ahead and flash that, or sorry, we're going to go ahead and format that. So we're going to go ahead and go to erase. Let's just go ahead and leave it the same, and we're going to go ahead and erase, full erase, okay? Go ahead and hit done. We're going to go ahead and go to Mayhem, download 1.9.1 copy to SD card. So let's go ahead and copy, let's go ahead and download that, okay? We're going to go ahead and save that to my downloads folder. Now once we're there, we can go ahead and go into our Hacker F1 folder. We're going to go to Mayhem firmware, the one that we just downloaded. So that was a zip. We're going to extract that firmware. All right, now once it's done extracted, it's going to take all that, and then we're just going to Command A that. We're going to move it all onto that SD card. and then let it copy over. So that's extracted out of 507 megs of 2.4 gigs. So we are now done with copying all those files to that SD card. We're going to eject it, take that out of our unit. Right, so once we're there, let's go ahead and put the SD card back into our Portapack unit, right? All right, battery's on. Now we can connect the two units back together carefully. Gently squeeze. All right, we got to figure it out. So off screen, what I did is while it was still plugged in, and after I ran that terminal command to update it, this area right here where it says warning DFU suffix CRC does not match, yada yada yada, and then we downloaded that firmware to 100%. After that, do not unplug the device. What you're going to do is you're going to come back over here to the GitHub page, right? We're going to go back to update firmware troubleshooting. Now scroll down to this bottom part down here that I missed. After that, without disconnecting, if you can upload the firmware with hackrf underscore spiff or spy flash w dash w, which is right, and then your new firmware. So that new underscore firmware underscore file dot bin. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your firmware area where you downloaded that firmware from, right? And then you're going to find that firmware that you just had. So in this case, it was the I believe it was a version 1.9 firmware. So we go to find that. It's under utils, which I already drag it and put it on my desktop. So from there, it's on my desktop. Portapack H1 underscore H2 mayhem bin, that area. So what you're going to do is you're going to type this command in, hackrf underscore spy flash dash w, and then that file name. Make sure that you are CD'd into your desktop. So once you are, make sure, again, you are CD'd in your desktop, that command goes in there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to run that command. What it's going to do then is it's going to run a erasing SPI flash, right? And then writing the data, and then it's going to be complete. Once you're done with that, you can unplug your Portapack, and then you can turn it off, turn it back on, and you are back to a functioning Portapack. That is a troubleshooting guide of how to get this going. So what I'm going to do now is, we're still on version 1.9.1. We're going to shut this off. Okay, I'm going to take that SD card. I'm going to go to my desktop again. I'm going to go Mayhem. Instead of the 1.9.1, we're going to go to the nightly version, right? So let's go all the way down here to what is the latest version. Let's go nightly. Let's go find here. So we're at 2024 2.12, which is technically the nightly for tomorrow, but it's already out. So let's go ahead there. Let's go ahead and Mayhem Nightly, the copied SD card zip. You want the world map, okay? So that's 493 megabytes. Go ahead and grab that guy right there. Let's go ahead and save it to our downloads folder. Let's go ahead and shrink. So we're done downloading. I'm going to take my SD card out. I'm going to go ahead and pop that into my SD card reader. Those files have been extracted. Let's go ahead and open up that folder. Command A to copy all or to select all. Drop those into your hackrf SD card. Go ahead and apply all and then replace. All right, those files are now moved over to the SD card. Let's go ahead and eject that. Drop that SD card into our Portapack. There we go. Go ahead and boot that unit on. See, we are running the V1.9.1. Okay. Let's go to utilities. We're going to go to flash utility. And we're going to go to that Portapack, that first one. So if you're on Mac, for some reason, Mac drops in two files. This bottom file right here with the period underscore then Portapack, that is just a data file or a miscellaneous like subtext pretty much. It doesn't do anything. It's not the real file. So you always want the file that starts with the actual verbiage that you're looking for. So we got Portapack Mayhem. We're going to select that. Yes. We got our TX lights flashing up here on top is what you want. About 15 seconds is what it's going to take before it fully flashes it. Then it should reboot. Once it reboots, we're back into the screen. If we hit our home button here, we are looking at nightly 24/02/12, and that is how you update your Portapack after you purposely DFU'd it like I did. Don't do that. This is just worst case scenario, but If you do happen to get a unit that maybe shipped to you with the black screen, try this first. If you flash your firmware and for some reason you had a black screen, here's your options. You may not need to take apart the whole unit like I did. Just read the documentation that I posted a link in the description below. So hope that helps. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and do all the fun stuff. Appreciate it. Thanks again.